Hey loves, hey, it's your girl Shay Cunningham, also known as Slay by Shay. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who may be new here, you should know that this channel is dedicated to busy professional women and seasoned mature women who like to sip that tea content. Yes, transform, elevate, and attract. And today is super special because we're going to be focusing on self-care and styling tips for the holidays. So if you want to woo-side your way through the holidays, you don't want to miss this one. I have a special guest. Her name is Martita Claiborne Robbins, and she is going to be doing a little bit of an interview style chit-chat fireside with me live here in the video. And let's be clear, Martita is just not here shooting from the hip. She is a self-care expert. She's a mental health advocate and educator, and she knows what she's talking about. I'm not gonna lie, even I learned some stuff from this little fireside chat that she and I had. We talked about the origins of self-care, which I was oblivious to. We also talked about quick self-care tips that you can incorporate into your daily activities to make sure that you don't get burned out in this holiday haze, with styling tips for the holidays, making sure that you're ready for those special occasions, but at the same time doing it with effortless ease. And then we rounded off the conversation with self-care gifts that we can either gift ourselves or other people that we love. So if you're interested in these topics, and if you don't think you're interested, I promise you, you're gonna get a lot of bang for your buck for the time that you spend on this. This video in and of itself is self-care. Trust me, hunty. You want to stay tuned. So first off, hey girl, hey, welcome to welcome to our studio here at Slay by Shay all day. Miss Martita Claiborne. I have to give you first of all big ups, and you know I always have to do this, child. I always have to let people know who you are, hunty, in the room. So for those of you who are watching who may not know, I have been running a group coaching program called Slay Society, and as a conduit into the Slay Society, I've done a 4-day challenge, which most of you have probably been on if you're watching this video. And she came into the Slay Nation funnel by way of that 4-day challenge, but she didn't stop there. That's the thing.
Right.
She didn't stop there. She kept going and was like, Shay, I want more. I need more. I am leveling up in my life, leveling up in my career, and I need to level up everything from the inside and out. And so we've been on a journey together now for a long time. And we'll probably take a whole nother hour to talk about that, which we're not going to do now, but maybe another time. That's a different story. Right? But
yes.
I love connecting with Martita because Martita is just a wealth of knowledge. She's, comes from an education background, but she has so much, I feel like, innate value and intuition and spiritual groundedness when it comes to self-care. And I always learn something new from you when we talk about how to best take care of ourselves, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Like, you're always a plethora of information and just soul, right? Like, just soul therapy.
Yes.
So, I am super excited to have you here to share your genius with my new audience here on YouTube, and would love for you to introduce yourself, and we're going to get into these questions.
Amazing. Well, hello everyone. My name is Martita Claiborne Robbins, and like Shay said, I am an educator. I've been an educator for over 15 years, teaching in Louisiana and Texas. But outside of education, we're all multifaceted. I consider myself a multi-passionate woman. And one of my many passions, as Shay mentioned, is self-care. And this became intriguing to me because of the pandemic. Dun, dun, dun. As an educator in the thick of it, realizing, I'm not really taking care of myself. What is self-care? How can I be a better me? How can I make sure that I am whole? And that's really when I started taking self-care more seriously versus just something I did every now and then, and really learning and defining what self-care is for me, and continuing to make sure that I practice it almost daily, and encouraging others to do the same. So that's what brings me to this table. I love sharing my self-care experience and journey, as well as helping others on their own as well. So thank you for inviting me.
Yes, well, I'm super excited to have you, and I have a few questions for you so that we can help the audience, the ladies who are looking for ways to continue to navigate all of the things that we have on our plate and still slay, right? Every step of the way. I just knew that you would be a great sounding board as well as a great partner to have this conversation. So as we stated, the topic here is holiday self-care and style tips for the busy professional woman. So the first thing I would love to ask you from your glean of genius is, do you even think that it's important to focus on self-care during the holidays? And if so, why do you think that?
This time period between like the middle of October until maybe the middle of January, so for some people it's called the most wonderful time of the year, but it's also one of the most busy times of the year. So when it comes to prioritizing self-care during this time of year, during this time of year where there are multiple holidays and celebrations and festivities and all the things, it can be easy to allow ourselves to get overscheduled, have several family commitments. We're taking care of our regular daily life stuff, right? We still got the job, we still got the house stuff, the family stuff, whatever, caregiving, all the things. But then you add the commitments that people make during the time of year where they are participating in certain activities and festivities and the parties and all the things. So it can be quite taxing. So when we take a moment to take care of ourselves, take care of our health, mentally, emotionally, behaviorally, physically, it helps us to enjoy the plans that we make in our regular daily life, as well as during the times when things are a little bit more accelerated or busier, so that we can handle those responsibilities with energy, joy, and positivity. Self-care is an investment in your capacity, sis. It's an investment in you. And there are so many different ways to practice self-care. I'm sure we'll get into that. But no matter what is going on, we want to make sure that we are getting enough rest and sleep. We're staying hydrated, drink plenty of water and non-caffeinated, non-carbonated beverages. Eat healthfully. I mean, we can still enjoy the treats and other things that we love that are favorites. Like, I'm a pumpkin spice girly, right? But we want to focus on making sure things are the main thing. And if you're working out, hey, keep it up, keep it going. Don't stop it just because it's the holidays. Also, if you're not working out, okay, how can you incorporate some movement? These are just simple things that we can do in our self-care that allow us to be whole during this time of year and beyond. Self-care was actually a term that became popular among the Black Panther Party. And I share this because a lot of us use this term. The term self-care has become so mainstream that there are certain ideas floating around about self-care that we may think about those ideas instead of how it truly got started. So basically, self-care started out with the information from the Black Panther Party, encouraging those who were activists to take care of themselves because they were doing something that required them having a lot of energy, having resilience, coming up against a lot of pressure. How can we continue in the work that we're doing, regardless of what type of work it is, and still show up if we're not whole? One way to resist the pressure to burn out is by practicing self-care. Self-care is being proactive instead of reactive. It's taking that personal ownership, personal responsibility in order to serve ourselves first and fill ourselves up so that we can pour out. Everything we do throughout the day pours out. We're serving, we're being served. All of this requires energy. And when you don't restore, when you don't refill, you deplete. So that's the basis. It's critical this time of year and your daily life beyond.
Whoa. Okay, so listen, I didn't know I was going to get schooled today on the origins of self-care, but thank you for that, Hunty. Like, I'm here for all of that because I feel like you're right. It's such a mainstream term right now that I think, we just all fall into it organically, and we all have different ideas that have been, I guess, normalized, right, by media in general. And it's good to know where the origin came from, what it was meant to address in life. And I love some of the words that you use, like personal responsibility and making sure that we replenish, right? So that we're not depleted. Like, that is amazing. And during the holiday season, when we are depleted a lot of energy and vitamins, nutrients, a lot of things we are depleted from because we're moving at a faster pace. We're pouring people more than we ever have before. We're around more people. I think some people don't realize that being in the mix of having so many people around you is draining. Even if you're the most extroverted person, it is draining to be around a lot of people and more people than you're used to being around more often as well. So definitely thank you for that. So let's dig a little deeper, okay? So amidst this chaotic time, what are some quick and effective self-care routines that busy women should probably try to integrate into their daily lives during this time of the year?
Oh, that's one of my favorite questions. So I believe in habit stacking. So basically the concept is if there's a habit you're already doing, you can incorporate a new habit to it, to help you remember to practice it. For example, with myself, when I'm waiting on the coffee to finish brewing, that's when I take a moment to practice deep breathing and prayer. That's when I take a moment to read a short Bible passage and meditate on it while the coffee is brewing. Because I'm going to be standing there waiting on the pot anyway. That's how I have it stacked. So those things are really quick and effective for me and incorporate different elements of self-care. Also, doing a 5-minute meditation. There's different apps. There's different videos. Even working with a self-care coach or emotional freedom tapping technique coach can help you with that as well. You can even listen to your favorite podcast, or if you're looking for a new podcast, find something that's going to help you in that regard. Listening to an audiobook for personal development, especially on your commute. If you have to drive a certain distance to get to the office or get to your job, if you are using public transportation and you have that time, pop in a podcast or an audiobook. Right now, we all have our phones, so you can switch over to that and just shut out that noise from the radio. Don't let somebody else determine your mood because of what they're sharing. You choose the content, right? You can even think about your nightly routine, or if you prefer to journal early in the morning, you can do that then. But I find it effective sometimes to journal later at night. It gets the thoughts that are in my head down on paper, and it makes it easier for me to get ready to fall asleep. Maybe it's having a sleepy time tea, something that's going to be calming and soothing, like a caffeine-free tea. So I would definitely think about that. And if you are a person who consumes caffeine, guilty as charged, notice when you have caffeine in the daytime, set a reasonable stopping point so that it doesn't keep you up too late in the evening or at night, so you can get adequate rest. I would even suggest using technology to your benefit. Again, looking for those apps, looking for those videos that can help you with your daily routines, help you with sleep, mindfulness, fitness. I mean, there's an app for everything, and quite a few of them are free. You don't have to go for broke trying to practice self-care. So those are just some quick, effective things. Last point, because of the time of year we're in, make gratitude a daily habit, a daily practice. Can you think of one thing that you're grateful for each day? Can you get to the point where you're expanding that list and you're writing 2, 3, 5, 10 things you're grateful for in that day? And it may be something you do before the day starts, at a midpoint, or maybe at the end, but keep gratitude top of mind, and notice how that helps you to shift your perspective.
Wow, that was amazing. I was taking so many notes, Martita, because you hit on so many areas that I think in my day-to-day life I try to incorporate, and I never think of how I can dial even further into those habits during the holiday season. So a couple of things struck me. One is the habit stacking. I've never heard that term before, so you really schooled us. And to me, it kind of reminds me of multitasking, right? A lot of people mistake what multitasking is, because I think corporate America taught us one thing, but what it really is something else. Okay.
Right.
So what it really is when you do something that is routine, mundane, that you can do practically like a machine in your sleep, and then you're also doing something that's more mindful at the same time. It's not where you're trying to do two mindful things at the same time. That our brain doesn't work that way, right? A lot of people don't realize that. That's why multitasking doesn't work necessarily in the workspace, because one of those things are not going to get that full attention that it deserves, because the brain doesn't switch. It doesn't operate on producing what it needs to produce for two things simultaneously. But if it's something like brushing your teeth, or something that you do every day, such as starting your coffee up for the day or something like that you do routinely, yes, you can do that and something mindful at the same time. So I love that you highlighted that as something that we can incorporate into our lives during the holiday season, such as, listening to a podcast or audio book while we're doing those mundane tasks that we're going to do anyway, but they're just it's like, useless time that's not really feeding us in a way. So that would be a great way to carve out time for us. And then, of course, I love the comments that you made about journaling and meditation. Those are things that don't take a lot of time, right? So, we're not trying to suggest to you ladies that you need to add time to our already hectic schedule. We're saying, hey, use time that you're already using for a mundane task, and or just squeeze in 5 minutes, right? 10 minutes. How much time do we waste scrolling? Come on.
I'm telling you, I'll use myself for example. One habit I've picked up on with working remotely is, I get my 30-minute lunch break. And so usually I'm eating leftovers because I don't know how to cook for 2 people. I cook like I have a family of 10. I don't know. But I will eat leftovers. And so I'll heat up my leftovers, which doesn't take too long. Then I'm sitting down. And then I have this habit of, okay, well, let me play a game on my phone, or let me scroll on this social media app. And what I started doing was realizing, wait, how is that really helping me? And being a person who uses social media to network and for business, you think about those things differently. But if I'm doing the mindless scroll as a consumer, I realized that's not the best use of my time. So what I did was I closed that out. I went to my Bible app. And I started thinking about, okay, let me go back to the scripture. Let me meditate on that while I eat. Yeah. Is there audio that I can listen to? Maybe you can listen to a meditation while you walk, right? And we're not saying don't use social media, but you have to be careful with, okay, what are my boundaries with this? Like, am I spending 3 hours a day without realizing it? When this is actually time that I can use, that I can implement self-care.
Pour back into yourself. Yeah. I mean, because we know, I think, there is a a lot of information out on social media now, and I'm hearing this messaging more and more, that we have to realize that we cannot pour from an empty cup, or we can't operate in a way where we can keep giving when we don't have enough for ourselves. So for example,
right.
Like think about a cup of tea or a glass of water, and it's full. That's what you need to just function. Okay. You need to be full to just function. When you want to function at a high vibrational level, you need to have overflow. And many of us are not working from overflow, and we're trying to be high vibrational.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
That does not work.
That's the formula to burnout. That's the formula to crashing and burning, feeling frazzled, feeling chronic, experiencing chronic stress.
Yes. So what we're talking about are things that pour back into you that will allow you to operate from overflow versus, deficit, or empty cup, or half empty cup, or just barely full cup. So let's keep this conversation going, because this is good. How can busy women balance holiday commitments with their self-care needs? Because we may already have these things in place that we do. We may meditate, we may take our bubble baths, we may do our skincare, we may do our meditations, all the things that we just talked about normally. But now all of a sudden we have to infuse work stuff, after work stuff, parties, cocktail, this, that, and the other, family gatherings. I mean, it's a lot more, galas. I mean, you name it. These are the things that my clients are experiencing, as well as me, with our schedules.
Yeah, right.
How do you balance all of that without having to decline, invitations, or having to take away from the self-care activities?
And it's funny you mentioned without having to decline, because that's actually one thing I do have in mind is sometimes you got to say no. And it's not personal. It's not personal, but there's only so much you can do in a day. There's only so much you have the bandwidth to do, right? So that was one of my first things is exercise your right to say no. Exercise your right to decline. You got to set boundaries. And one of the things about it is you have to set boundaries with yourself and your time. Again, you're not Superwoman. And I know your audience, Shay. I know she got the S on her chest and the cape on. But sis, Superwoman is a fictional character. Supergirl, Superman, all of them fictional. Okay, you are human. And we have to behave accordingly. And I'm saying this from love and from experience. All right. And with that being said, we all know what FOMO is, that fear of missing out. If I don't say yes, if I don't show up, if I'm not at the thing, think about the reverse of that. Experience the joy of missing out. Okay. The JOMO that can come. You can decline or choose not to attend to things that are less essential, less important, so that you can be fully present for the things that you are saying yes to. All right. When you say yes to something, you got to say no to something else. We can't be a people pleaser in this season or any other. We have to implement those boundaries and adhere to them and communicate them by our words and by our actions. So it's okay if you have to choose to show up at certain things and not show up at others. Get a planner. If you're not using one, we all have a phone. Again, put things in your phone. Personally, I like to use my calendar on my phone to color code things so that I know when I'm using certain colors, I'm around people. But I would say this, if it is purple, it is my time. Purple is personal in my calendar. And things like therapy, my quiet time, my exercise, doing something with friends that will help to, that will feed into me implementing my own self-care socially, that's purple. And I have to make sure that I'm hitting my purple obligations every day. That's my personal boundary. If there's something that I'm invited to do professionally or personally that's going to interfere with that purple spot, it's a no.
Oh, I love that.
And I don't have to explain.
Yeah.
So if I get invited, for example, to an event, and yeah, I'm a social person, I'm an extrovert. I love to be around people. I like to be the life of a party when I'm given the opportunity. But let's say it's a Sunday and I have something on there where I'm needing to do my own emotional technique, tapping or journaling or something else. It's a no. I got to take care of me. Otherwise, I'm going to be a mess at this event. I'm not going to be full. I'm not going to be whole. And I'm going to be wishing I had taken care of business for myself. All right. So it's okay to acknowledge your bandwidth. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to do that. And I know a lot of times, because of the time of year, there are certain people who travel and they're coming home or whatever. And, there's the pressure. Do I go see them? They're here, they don't come, but every so often. I encourage you to keep in touch with people throughout the year so that you can manage those feelings of, okay, yes, they are in town, but you've been keeping in touch. This is not the only way you get to be with them. It's not like it was like 20, 30, 40 years ago. We have FaceTime, we have text messaging, email, social media. How can you be a part of this person's life more often and they be a part of yours more often, so that when you are in person, you get to experience a more genuine connection versus, well, it's a limited time and we got to do these certain things now. And I'll say this as well, because we all know that life has been and will continue to life for all of us. And while there are people who are saying, oh, this is the best time of the year, I love this time of year, there are people where that is their experience, that is their truth. And then there are others where this is not the best time of the year for them because of grief, because of trauma. And now they have to be around people who traumatized them previously because of strange family relationships. We all don't come from ideal circumstances and backgrounds. And it can be hectic trying to manage all of that with your mental and emotional well-being. And you have unrealistic expectations. Things are not ideal and even more hectic. So you got to take care of you, whether you choose to engage or not, whether you make plans before or after this season, personal choices, and even throughout the year. Don't let the fact that there's a certain day on the calendar cause you to feel undue pressure to participate in something that's contrary to what your intuition and gut is telling you. No. And I'll just leave it at that because I know the people in your audience, right?
Yeah, no, I love that you said that, because we should not always assume, or we shouldn't assume at all, not always, but we shouldn't assume that everyone comes from the same type of circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I would probably gather that it's a lot less people who have those ideal circumstances than we think, right? Just because pressures of society saying that this is ideal, I think we just all kind of fall into that, well, one, assumption, but also ideal type of facade, if you will. I haven't ever really shared, even on my mainstream social media platforms, but I don't celebrate Christmas in my home. I don't have a Christmas tree. I don't have lights outside. I don't celebrate in that way, not for religious reasons or purposes, but just because it doesn't align with my own personal choice. I don't really talk about it a lot because it's my choice. That's why it's called personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But I will say this in terms of, because we're on the topic of balancing, right? And I will say that it has definitely freed me up in terms of a lot of time and expense that I used to put into all of the holiday trimmings and the, energy into putting up all of the decorations and doing all the things and the gift giving and the shopping and the this and the that. Like that's just no longer a part of my life around this time of the year. And so
Mhm.
I do love that you mentioned and want to pay homage really to people who don't live the ideal existence during this time of the year, because there are, I'm sure, a lot of them out there. And
Right.
some choose and some don't choose, right? Some of them do want that, right? They want to have all of the trimmings and all of the festivities and all of that. And because of whatever their circumstances have afforded them, they just don't have it and they're craving it. And maybe they visit and try to connect to other, either people or areas within their life that they can cling to have a little bit of that. But I love earlier when you said it's good for us to really focus as much as we can on being grateful for what we do have, because we're all blessed in whatever scenario or situation we're in, whether it's
Mhm.
you choose or didn't choose, right?
Right.
And be grateful and glad in that, right? And understand the blessing that it all is. We all need to check in with each other and pray for those who this may be a very difficult time for a whole laundry list of things that we may not understand nor,
Mhm.
you know, relate to.
So
Right.
I grew up being different, and
Yeah.
tell your kids I turned out just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so
But
glad
yes,
we're
they.
having this discussion, because I don't think this discussion is had enough, right? To acknowledge
Mhm.
people and see people. We say acknowledge a lot, but see people, right? Like where they are in this time of year, in this scenario. And I think this is a great call out. So I appreciate you for mentioning that for sure.
Also on this tip, and I just want to say this as a common courtesy to people, just because you coming in from out of town, don't expect people to drop everything you're doing. Like,
Wait a minute.
look,
Hold on.
man,
Wait a minute. We gotta say it again loud for the
just
people.
because just because you're coming in out of town, I got real close to the camera because I'm talking to somebody saying, you come here. Just because you're coming in from out of town, don't expect everybody in your life or you going to drop what they're doing just to come see you. People still got life before you get there, while you're there, and when you leave. Plan accordingly. Make plans in advance. Coordinate with them in advance. Don't just show up and think their world stops just because you're there. It don't happen like that. And I'm talking to the grown people. These kids gonna learn too, but
Love it.
don't make me use my teacher voice.
Right. I love it. That is so true. We would tell our family, like, listen, Linda, if you're coming in town, let us know what days you're here. Let's coordinate something. Let's
Exactly.
not do this random pull up. Let's do this, that, and the other. I don't function like that. Some people do.
Yeah, this is 2024. People got stuff to do. And don't assume they just sitting there waiting on you to show. No,
Show up.
Right. And here's the other point to that: be on time. Like if you have plans with them, if you have a commitment with them, be on time. If not early, don't show up too early now. Because I know some folks show up an hour in advance. Hold up, you got to wait on me to finish getting ready. But honor that commitment and respect their time. This is not the time to be on CPT.
Right. But that's funny, because sometimes we do that more to our family and our friends than we would to strangers. We'll just show up and roll up whenever, and it's like, no, sis, all bro, like
it goes back to those boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I only have a couple more things before we round out our conversation. This has been so good. Now we're going to get into some fun stuff, more on the style tip. Okay.
Yes.
So
yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Here we go. So would love to know, because you have been on a sleigh journey with me now. How long would you say? Like, has it been 4 years?
We started, just about. We started with that first challenge I attended spring 2021.
Yes. So almost 4 years. right?
Hmm.
Yeah, almost 4 years. So with that, we have gone through like the whole sleigh journey, right? Like we started with defining your signature style, understanding your body shape, wardrobe essentials, all the things. So you are
Yes.
literally a sleigh icon. And when I say literally, y'all, she is a sleigh icon. She was named sleigh icon of
Yes.
the
In
year.
2021. Yes.
Yes. So she was Slay Icon of the Year for 2021 for the Slay Nation and has been slaying ever since. So I want to ask you, I'm going to sit on the flip side. I'm going to ask you, what style tips do you have for, busy lady bosses looking to still look festive, but yet professional or at least elevated during this time of the year?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to use a Shay Slayism on y'all. Cost per wear. Okay.
Mm.
I know it's easy, and a lot of stores do this. Brick and mortar and online, they come out with their seasonal collection, and it's easy to say, "Oh, okay, I gotta have this green dress or that red purse or I need that brown." Stop, because some of these things are designed just for that season or just for that occasion, and it may even be a statement piece, right? And how many times are you actually gonna wear it? So my thing is, keep it simple. First things first, always honor your slay statement. If you've worked with Shay or if you've been around her longer than 5 minutes, you know she's going to make you do that personal work. Get that slay statement, because that's the foundation of everything else that we do, right? So once you are aware and tuned into your slay statement, shop in your closet. That's number 2. What do you have in your closet that you can continue to utilize? Those staples, those basics, they still work regardless of the day on the calendar, right? One thing may be perhaps you have a neutral garment, like a basic black dress, or some cute jeans and then a basic top in a neutral color. How can you incorporate the colors for the event with your accessories? Okay, maybe it's your eyewear, your nails. How can you alter your makeup if you are a person that wears makeup so that it fits the occasion? Again, your scarves, shoes, belts. How can you use your slay side chicks to fit the occasion while honoring the cost per wear and your slay statement? If you do choose to indulge in getting a statement item, again, just always keep in mind the cost per wear. Am I only going to wear this one time and then it's going back in the closet and eventually I'm throwing it away or donating it? We don't do that in the Slay Nation. So keep that in mind. So think about things that can transition from day to night. So perhaps it's an office event or you're leaving something after work. Again, how can you throw on a blazer? How can you add these accessories so that it makes it more fitting for the occasion? Comfortable shoes, but comfortable shoes that are stylish and that are good for long days. Honor your body. Don't try to force yourself to wear heels if you know you can't be comfortable in them, or if you know that they're not the best for your feet. Honor your body, okay? Cole Haan, I don't get a dime for telling y'all about them, but ever since Shay introduced me to the Cole Haan brand, I was able to find a pair of dress shoes. They're wingtips. They are so professional and cute. I can wear them casually. I can wear them dressed up. I can wear them when I'm in worship, or whatever. And they feel like a tennis shoe. That's my point. They feel like a tennis shoe. I have literally walked miles in these shoes. Okay, so you know that you are going to be on your feet. You may be out dancing. You want comfortable shoes. There's nothing worse than walking into the event with your heels on and walking out barefoot. We don't need to do that. We're grown. Okay, so let's govern ourselves accordingly on that tip. So that's what I would suggest. And just personally, if I am going to buy a statement piece right now, For me, it would be earrings because of the cost per wear. I can wear them over and over and over and over again. There are certain earrings, rather, that are statement pieces in my collection right now, and every time I wear them, it's compliment after compliment after compliment, and it's an easy, quick way to take an outfit that's pretty simple to elevate it. So that's what I would share.
Yes, Auntie. You shared so many things that came to mind when I was putting together these questions. So I'm just going to dig a little bit deeper in a couple of them that really spoke to me as you were saying them. One is honor your body. Keep it comfy and cute. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sometimes with the holidays, we want to get in these slinky dresses and look, sultry and all that good stuff. And you can do that, but it doesn't require things to be super form fitting and things that look and feel uncomfortable. You can wear things that are fit and flare and in material that really breathes and moves the body, and that gives you comfort and ease at the same time. I'm a big lover of, I love the fall and the winter because I just feel like you have so many more options when it comes to fabric. Right? So I love suede, velvet, sequin, feathers, sparkle. Like, it's so many different things that you can play with during the holiday season to bring festiveness statements to your wardrobe. Like, it's unreal. In fact, I do keep things in my wardrobe, staples and basics, that can just be quickly made festive by your statement earring, right? Like something fun and sparkly. I feel like there are certain things that just speak holiday, and one of them is sparkle. Okay, so anything that you have in your wardrobe that sparkles, wear that with something that is otherwise basic or a staple in your wardrobe, and boom, you're ready for festivities. Fur, feathers, sequin, any of those things bring kind of that festive vibe to an outfit. So lean into that. So those are the things that I would say you could quickly do to show up in a festive way without having to run to the store and find an ugly sweater. You know what I'm saying?
That's one of those. I mean, seriously, that's one thing that people only wear that one time.
Yes. And stay away from these ornamental fits, you know what I'm saying? So the stuff that got the trees and the reefs and come on, sis, like we're we over 40, 50. Some of my audience is 60 and 70. We are not about to be wearing ornaments for earrings.
We are grown.
Christmas trees and then kind of carrying on like we're beyond that. Okay. So I would just say go with that. And then also the colors. Wearing like forest green and olive green and merlot and burgundy, not the bright red, but just by doing the burgundy, which is super hot this season, and maybe pairing that with a metallic gold or a metallic silver or, something that has a nice splash. Boom, you're already festive. Super excited to see guys, pull together some things that shop your closet. Like Martita said, find some things that are staples, find some things that are statements, and do that outfit formula. Pull together some things by way that are festive by way of the materials and or colors. And you got some great fits. I just know that they're going to be there because, if I didn't want to, I would not have to shop for holiday fits for 2-3 years and be just fine with what's already in my closet. Just think about it. Even if you have like a plain white t-shirt and some jeans and just pop on an olive green blazer, a burgundy blazer, or something that just has that holiday type feel and some sparkly earrings, boom, you're festive. Okay. So
it just takes a little bit. A little bit goes a long way.
That's it. So, all right, love. So listen, we are about to wrap this up. The last thing that I want to ask you about is gifts, self-care gift ideas. So for ourselves, as well as for maybe someone in our life that we love, that we want to extend some self-care love to, what would you recommend?
Oh, I love this. Okay. Number one, consider the person you are giving it to versus who you are as the giver, right? Think about that person. Do they like to learn? Are they active? What do they consider to be relaxation? Because you want to cater to what their version of self-care is. And it may even mean that you got to get to know them a little bit better if this is not something that you can automatically answer, right? Be thoughtful. Gift cards and vouchers, be careful because sometimes those do go unused, right? But spa vouchers and gift cards, massages, if that person is into it, there's a higher chance that your gift will be used. Or things to help them create a luxury bath experience at home. Are they into scents? Perhaps they need different essential oils and candles. Perhaps you can give them a subscription to the meditation app that they like to use. This is my favorite one. Give them a gift card or however she does it, but set them up with a style consultation with Slay by Shay, especially if you have been one of Shay's clients or if you've been in Slay's challenge. And look, that would be ideal to give to you if you've had that on your list. Maybe you did the challenge earlier this year or last year, 4 years ago, doesn't matter. Give yourself this gift because it's an investment in you and you won't regret it, okay? But that style consultation, maybe it's a capsule wardrobe that you need, especially as we go into the new year. You need to elevate your style for where you're going in 2025 and beyond. Perhaps the person considers themselves an active fitness, person. So maybe they need a fitness tracker, or they need to have a pass to attend some classes at a gym in their area. If they love to read, get them books that can help enhance their lives. There are personal development books on so many different topics, and do something where you all can keep each other accountable with the books. So that it's not just a book you bought and it sat on their table and they never cracked it open. So I am a certified school librarian. I can help you with that. I also have a blog post on different ways to implement self-care. It's about Self-Care Sunday, but really it's different things that you can do any day of the week, any time of the year. And I have a very diversified list that I can share with Shay for the show notes. So that's my gift. Y'all get that gift from me. You get a list of curated things. It mentions some of the things I've already said, as well as some things that you can see when you read that blog post.
Hey, well, thank you for that gift. I don't think either of us knew, me or the audience knew we were going to get this amazing gift. Thank you. Thanks, Martita.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
I love those gift ideas. There are a lot of things that I thought about as well. And just keep in mind that you can gift yourself these things as well. Like she said, the one thing I thought about too that would be amazing is if you going into 2025 are really laser focused on your business or organizing yourself more and better for 2025. If you're starting a business, if you are starting anything new in your life and it requires planning, get you a cute little stylish planner. Or if you know somebody who is going to be on that type of journey, get them a planner, as well as a journal. Journaling is huge for so many reasons in terms of helping with mental and emotional therapy. And if it's something that you already do, maybe you need a new journal, right? To have fun with and keep you motivated to continue your journaling. Martita and another client of mine and really good friend of mine, Kia McLean, the poet, she suggests sometimes that it's okay for you to have multiple journals, right? Like you don't have to journal every thought in your head in the same journal. if you're on a fitness journey, for example, you can journal about your fitness journey in a separate journal than you do for maybe the other things that are going on in your life. So, really consider journals and planners. If you're a person like me and you can even do journaling digitally. It doesn't have to be, on paper, but I do like to, when I journal, for some reason, it just feels different than typing it. But I like to review it digitally. So go figure. I like to write it as it comes out of my head. But then I like to, when I go back to review it, I don't necessarily enjoy reading my handwriting. I don't know. It's a crazy thing. But somebody needs to come up with a product like that, right?
Yeah.
Or you can use voice, right? I guess you can do voice journaling. That could be effective for a person like me.
I've done that before, because sometimes my brain and my mouth moves so much faster than my hands.
Correct.
And so I've done that. And to your point about journals, guided journals. You can find guided journals. They have prompts. Some of them have different exercises you can do, but I love a good guided journal. And definitely check out Kia McLean's journal as well as her book of poetry nerd as well. So
I will definitely drop her link in the description, okay, for you guys who want to check her out. All right, love. Well, listen, we just have now time for you to drop all of your information. So if the ladies would like to continue to connect with you and see what you're doing and check out your products and services, that they can. So go ahead and let them know how they can plug in with you.
Awesome. So one way is social media. You can find me as Martita Robbins, MartitaRobbins, on all major social media platforms. You may also check out my blog and website, askmartitarobbins.com. And I'm going to include that blog post that I promised you all. So that will take you directly to my blog. You can check that out, see other content that I have available on my site, as well as what I have on socials. And I would love to hear from y'all. What is something that you plan on implementing as a result of listening to today's episode?
Absolutely, Martita. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. I don't think you know this yet, because I haven't dropped it yet into my other social media platforms, but I have actually put together a gift guide for my audience. Yes, Hunty. And it has all of the things, well, not all, but a lot of the things that we just talked about. So it has guided journals.
Love it.
Yes, it has really great gift ideas for self-care. In fact, there's a whole category for, what is it called? Gifts for beauty lovers. That's the one. For beauty lovers. And so within beauty lovers, there's all types of spa-like products and things that you can use at home to incorporate into your at-home self-care routines. So tons of stuff there. I have journaling and nice pen things in the stocking stuffer section. And then, of course, in the fashion lovers section, there's tons of cool fashions for the fashion lover, as well as there's sections for the man in your life, for him, gifts for him. There's a section for gifts for teens, tweens, littles. So there are also journals in there for teen girls who may be struggling, like my teen child. She going through because of the beauty standards that got our kids in a chokehold right now from social media interference. Lots of stuff within this gift guide that I want you guys to check out is called Sleigh Bells Gift Guide. And I am selling it on my website, so I'll put that information in the description box as well. So let's thank Miss Martita for taking out all this time that she did with us today to share her expertise and her zone of genius with us on holiday self-care and her style tips for the busy professional woman. We really enjoyed you. Would love to have you back and have some more conversation about self-care if you would come back and see us, probably early 2020.
It'd be my pleasure. Yeah. It would be my pleasure. Just say the word.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time. Any last words before we leave out?
Regardless of what is going on in your life, don't forget to take care of you. That's my message. How can you take care of you today?
Yeah.
Whatever that is, go do it.
Love it. All right, my love. Well, take care. Mwah. And I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Whoa, hunty. Okay. So that was a lot for us to focus on our self-care, and I hope you enjoyed every minute of it. We got into some intense topics, and I hope some things that hit home for some of you and hopefully all of you in some form or fashion. So let's just do a quick recap, and I got to put my glasses on a little bit for this. So please pardon me, but we talked about the importance of self-care, of course, during the holidays. We talked about quick self-care practices, things that we can do and make it just a general part of our lives and our day-to-day habits and activities. We talked about holiday style essentials, which how we can just incorporate quick and easy ways to be still stylish and festive, but yet not overthink how we get dressed during this time. And then balancing work and holiday celebrations. Like, it can get so overwhelming trying to prioritize what is important during this time of year. So, really making sure that we are very mindful about what we choose to infuse in our lives during this hectic time. And then we rounded it off with self-care gift ideas. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now that I've made it easy for you to figure out exactly how you need to prioritize things during this holiday season, how you need to carve out and make valuable, precious time for you during the holiday season. And I've taken the guesswork out of shopping and making sure that you look like the slay star that you are to friends and family, and of course to yourself during the holiday season. I want you to take the time to share with me in the comments, what are you going to incorporate out of all of the tips and tricks and ideas and concepts that we share with you today about how to rock and slay the holidays with self-care and style. In addition to that, I absolutely want you to visit, watch, and subscribe to Martita's YouTube channel. It's so important that we support one another in these spaces and places when we're providing content that is supporting us, uplifting us, encouraging us, motivating us, and really elevating us to the next level. So please, please, please go over and encourage, support, and share Martita with anybody that you hold dear. And Martita's content can help, support, motivate, and empower. With that, thank you so much. I love you so much for watching. This is the season of gratitude, and I do appreciate each and every one of you for watching, for supporting me, for sharing, and for subscribing. So please share this particular video with anyone that you feel like this can be a blessing to. Don't forget to comment before you leave, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Until then, you know it's good. Slay all day. Mwah. These next 4 minutes of the video are just bonus footage of Martita and I discussing the intricacies of alternate lifestyles during the holidays. Because I'll give you just one quick example. Like when my husband and I first just decided that we were going to not participate in the commercialism of this time of year, both Thanksgiving and Christmas, my kids were younger, right? So my son was like, he's 10 now. He was like 4 and 5. And so when he went to school, it was all about trees and Santa Claus and angels and this and that. And he would come home and be like, where our stuff at?
Okay.
And wondering why we weren't participating. In fact, I remember him asking me in the car, one day he says, "Mom, how did he put it? Why do you hate Christmas?" He said. And I said,
Mm.
my gosh, I don't hate Christmas. Let me tell you, this is what we have decided to do during this time of year. It doesn't make it wrong and in other ways of celebrating this time of year right. It just makes it our choice, right? And this is our choice. Now, when you come of age to choose how you want to, you know, celebrate or not celebrate this time of year, then you make that choice. But while you're under our roof, this is what we do, right? But my point is
Understood.
that there's a lot of and for people who do this for religious reasons, I'm sure they deal with the same thing. Like the construct of society really makes it hard for you to
Yes.
parent how you want to parent,
Yes. It
um,
does.
and hold down your household
Your
dynamic
values.
you want
Yes.
to. Yeah, it's really and that in itself comes with its own level of stress, to be quite honest, because
Right.
when you're in your day-to-day routine and you're in the stores, it's everywhere. When you're driving around, it's everywhere and constantly, it's just a permeating thing. And when you are raising
Right.
children and they feel like they're not a part of it, it can be a really draining thing and it can really pull on the family and the home dynamic as well.
I understand that, Shay, completely. Growing up, my family and I did not celebrate several different holidays because of religious reasons. And when I got old enough to make my own decisions, I still chose that religion. And I'm still, holding to what I've learned. And this because of what I've learned from the Bible and how it aligns with the origins of the different holidays and customs that are there. And so people are like, when I was growing up, especially, well, you don't ever get gifts. You don't ever have fun. And I'm like, my parents don't have to wait for my birthday or holiday just to tell me that they love me and give me a present. Um,
Exactly.
and they don't have to wait just because it's a certain day on a calendar and have that. I could come home from school and receive a gift or a treat or a surprise or whatever. Um, and we do celebrate different milestones and all that. So I go out and I do stuff
Yeah,
that's fun and enjoyable to me. It just doesn't have to be attached to this holiday, this custom, this tradition. Yeah, my pleasure.
yeah.
Because I was wondering earlier, I was like, how can I put in? Yeah, I may be able to talk about this, but just because I don't personally celebrate these holidays, but I still have to live my life during this time of year. I still
Correct.
have to deal with all these other things that do come up,
Right.
this time of year.